like doing that. But I'm glad to join you. And you know, my world is television, but it's also writing. Book numbers are actually up to 15 with my second fiction book coming out in just a couple of weeks called Assumed Treason. It's fiction, even though it will look like the presidential election we've just lived through. But clearly, when I thought about the work that you did and that you will continue to do and do in your future, my message is clearly, well, we live in turbulent times. I mean, where communication is critical to everything we do. And the problem today is that it's very tough to create effective communication between you and your message and anybody else. Certainly when the topic is anything related to politics. I will be careful not to get into politics during this little short presentation, but it is the world in which I live. And so if those of you read the interview of me that appeared, I think, in the previous issue, you know that the point was made that I have to be neutral on the air. One of the things I've learned is that although I am neutral on the air, meaning I present both sides, that's not the way people hear me. People hear me however they choose to hear me. And I can tell from the hate email I get from both sides on various days when people decide I have gone against them. And I've been called a liberal, a Republican, a conservative, a Democrat. I mean, just every name you can think of comes at you because people are caught in their own worlds. We see that people are unable to see how other people view the world. And the challenge for you as your careers go on is to build that bridge, to find the themes that actually run through in commonplace for everybody. And here's the thing, and I know the latest issue is about love, and I've looked through it and I've read a lot of it. Everybody loves their family and their friends. Everyone wants to keep their loved ones safe and healthy. Let that sense of love guide you in the work you do. I don't mean to be mushy with that. What I'm really trying to say is that in today's challenging world, especially when we're dealing with the COVID-19, I don't mean as the illness, but the way it gets communicated and the way people talk about it. Look, we don't know what's coming. We hardly understand where we've been with it. And people then use their view of the world to determine whether it's real, it's not real, masks make a difference, masks don't make a difference. It's obviously become very political. In addition, for the last 4 years, journalists have been under attack. And so the mission for you as we move forward, and trust me, the battle is not over for journalists. You've got to open your world. Don't avoid the side you disagree with. I mean, if you're conservative, look at the liberal side. If you're liberal, look at the conservative side. At night, I watch Fox, MSNBC, CNN, AONN, or OANN. I'm checking out all this stuff. I need to know what everybody's thinking because, trust me, people with different views live in different realities. The answer in your world of writing is to try and include everybody. Share your voice in a way that is understood and accepted by everybody, and for that, you should be commended. The written word can be read and reread by people. It's not like doing television. I say it, it's over, and we move on. You know, if you ever take the time to look back at an old card or a letter that somebody wrote you and you look at it years later, you start to get new insight to, oh, wow, that's what they meant. That's what they were talking about. Now I see where they were coming from as time passes. Be real, be yourself. Don't ever lie about who you are and what's important to you, but send your message out in an inclusive way. Don't try and make headlines, so to speak, by shunning others. Even when others you will find shun you. Challenge yourself to find points of overlap. Search for where you and others can agree. I'll give you a hint. We all agree that we love our friends and our family. We want everybody to be safe and healthy. You'd never do anything to jeopardize the welfare of any other person who matters to you. So therefore, when we talk about whether masks are good or masks aren't bad, or whether you'll get a vaccine or whether you won't get a vaccine, keep in mind that those are battlefields. But beyond that, you're going to be dealing with people who share the love for you that you have for them. Everybody wants the best for everybody, which is why trying to create a communication that crosses over into other people's worlds with a reflection of how they view the world is so very important. Look, in the old days, you'd hug somebody close after you had an argument with them. Today, the very fact that you can't do that is the sign of that we must be able to work together. And we need to work towards a new day when we can, and we will one day be able to hug again and hold hands again. Well, hopefully that's just a bit of a message for you. I know there's a lot to do this hour, and I was told to keep it to about 5 minutes, so I have done that. I don't want to abuse the time. I'm just going to leave you with some final words that have meant a lot to me. I've used them in at least one book that I've written, and they're the words of Bobby Kennedy. Robert Kennedy, who once said, "The future is not a gift, it is an achievement." The future is not a gift, it is an achievement. And what that means to me is work to make a difference in your family, in your university, in your community, in your country, and in your world. Why not? Let your future be judged by others for all that you have achieved in this community and this world and your profession of journalism and communication. Let that judgment be for how you've made the world a better place. Indeed, the future is not a gift for anybody, but for you all, it will be an achievement. I wish you good luck. I can't wait to see future issues. I've been proud to be part of the past issue and looking out the new ones. And to all of you, have a great rest of the program this evening.
Thank you so much,
you.
Dr. Lisnik. That was beautiful. Yes, please, anytime anyone wants to share clapping or thumbs up or write in the chat, feel free. Thank you again. That was just lovely.
You're welcome. Thanks, Kathy. I saw the clap.
Well,
Beth, I wonder if I could ask a question of our guest.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joanne Cook, and for 22 years I was teaching in the NLU graduate writing program, and that's how I happened to have the wonderful Elizabeth Schaefer as my student, and now she is the director of the communications program. What I wanted to say is that in the course of my experience, NLU's graduate writing program had an internship at WGN. First it was WGN Radio, but then it was WGN TV. This was several years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And I was wondering, I know in the time of COVID, the internships have been questionable, but is there a possibility that WGN will once again, maybe after we have the vaccine, have internships possibly for students in the communications program and at other universities?
Well, you are very right to know we have always relied on internships. In fact, what I'd like to point out to is a lot of interns who have worked with me or just in our newsroom have actually gone on to become news. One guy I'm thinking of is an anchor out in California now. So many of them actually get jobs in the field on TV behind the scenes. And the good news is that many of them get jobs at WGN. There's no promises here. But the point is, it's not like some places where you get an internship, you're done, and nobody, your future is not being helped by that internship. The WGN experience has actually helped a lot of people get jobs, and many, as I said, have worked on to become news writers and stuff at the station. For right now, look, it is very difficult. Even though the building has never been open for tours, I always give, and other people give private tours of the building, especially to people who are longtime WGN fans, but nobody is allowed in the building. All of our interviews, my show, I have to do all my interviews by Zoom, by other means. So your question is, one day, will it return? Nobody knows. One would think it would. We're not going to be living in this pandemic 5 years from now. So hopefully a year from now, things will begin to open up when things are safe. And I do believe that internships will come back, and they're very competitive to get. They're not easy to get. But when that time comes, I can give you the name of the person who is handling it at that time. And I do think there'll be opportunities there. But you're right in noting that this is probably not the time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Elizabeth would be the one to contact you.
No worries.
I'm now Professor Emeritus.
Well,
and we miss you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And actually, I'm so glad that you brought up the topic of internships too. This is perfect because I wanted to give a shout out to our media publishing interns who've worked so hard and so passionately over the past year. Because I don't want to miss anybody, I'm going to be looking here to make sure I don't. But oh my goodness, it was great. We had for the spring issue, Allison, I'm on the wrong one. Allison Nelson is an amazing writer. She's going to read a little bit tonight. And Janet Lagunas is an intern from the summer issue, as is Dakira Brown Turner. We had Nate Morales was an intern for the spring issue. Let's see if I can get it all. Antonio Blanco was the intern for the fall issue. And Jordan Hill and I met, of course, first for an internship when he began before he transitioned into managing editor for the publication. Quanah Hughes, who recently graduated with her communications degree, she was an internship in our spring issue, as was Ashley Delgado, who is a business administration manager. And she is also a wonderful, wonderful writer. I do hope I haven't missed anyone at all. There's so many people I want to give shout outs to. Also some people on the NLU staff, such as Tony DeCastro, who is the graphic designer. And I'll share my screen again. So many of you have maybe seen all or some of the issues. You can see this beautiful cover that he goes by Tony, that Tony has designed. This is our recent issue that focuses on love. He also designed this, well, this is our spring issue that really students spoke to us about their feelings during COVID, so health and coping. This issue was our pilot issue. He did a great design here, getting it off to a colorful start. And then our really astounding issue over the summer dedicated to criminal and social justice. Students have just absolutely written some beautiful pieces there in this Communications Quarterly summer issue. And these are all, they're all available on the NLU website. One other thing before we start with the excerpts, with the readings, one other thing, what is it I was gonna say? Oh yes, like one of the main things, which is I really would like to emphasize what's really special about this publication, in addition to all of the voices of all of the students and graduates, is its essence. It's very unique in that it's all about authenticity and inclusion. Everybody's voice, everybody's written voice is beautiful. Everyone has their own style and everyone has their own story to tell. And we welcome all voices and celebrate them. So it's just very exciting how this has evolved. I encourage you on your own to take a look at for the website, to take a look at the various lists of contributors, because there are so many writers, too many we would just go on and on with a list of all these writers, as well as artists and photographers. So, okay, so I will.
Beth, I'm sorry,
yeah.
real quick, I just want to thank you again for the opportunity, honestly, because opportunities like this don't come by every day. Like our guest speaker said, that it's somewhat of like a cutthroat field when we're talking writing, creativity, or anything like that. So we are all very grateful for the opportunity to be able to share our voice and get that information out there.
Thank you. That is really lovely and means so much to me. Thank you. So we have a list of, well, I have a lineup of some of our wonderful contributors, and I wish that everyone could read their pieces. We'd be here all night long, which would be fun for me. And I'm looking for my little list because we have a lineup. Dakira, I believe you're first on the list. Dakira Brown Turner.
Yep, I'm first.
Okay, so Dakira is, she is a journalist. She is are you a junior now, I think, majoring in communications. And already as a junior, she has won scholarships. She has written for professional publications. She's doing internships, and that's a plural, internships at different media organizations. And she's got a wonderful piece here. Dakira, I am going to let you introduce your piece, and please, read it to us. This will be great. Oh, I should pull it up here at the same time. You know what, here, I think it'd be nice to actually see your article too, because it looks so good in that photo that you took. Are you reading the heart of my,
Yep, page 12.
Okay. All right, take it away, hon.
Okay, so originally when I wrote this piece, it was for a class assignment. And then Beth emailed me about writing an article for this issue, and I think either my professor sent it over or I told her it'd be great, and so she decided to use this one. It's actually my favorite. The first time I actually did a lot of descriptive writing instead of reporting writing, so it was different. And yeah, so I'll get started. Throughout the years, my neighborhood has gone through the demolishing of community businesses, a revolving door of national and retail food chains emerging into my area, and small businesses trying to survive. However, through all the change, one restaurant has continued to be the heartbeat of Hyde Park's community. Known for the breakfast and cafeteria style design, Vallois has been a staple in my community for years. Opening early in the morning and closing late at night, this family business has a hot meal for anybody for an affordable price. Named Barack Obama's favorite place to dine in Chicago and a regular eatery for the late Mayor Harold Washington and former White Sox owner Bill Blake, and many more. Vallois first opened by William Vallois in 1921 and later was sold in 1957 to Walter Ullman, the later relocating to its current location at 1518 East 53rd Street. The restaurant stands today under the ownership of Errol Spurgis and Gus Salias. Hold on. Let's scroll up. Okay. Whether someone's new to the neighborhood, a resident for years, visiting for a short time, young, old, black, white, working class, a student, or working in a neighborhood, everyone enjoys the food in the community Vallois offers. The cafeteria-style restaurant reaches each customer. Before COVID, residents could stop by, catch up with family and friends while enjoying a hot meal. While walking into Vallois, I feel at home. Screen changed. Hold on. Since I can remember, I've been eating at Vallois. My family has been eating there for longer. Walking into Vallois, I feel at home. As a kid, I can remember my mother or sister waking up early to get breakfast for the family at least once a month. Vallois is a restaurant that values their community. Upon arrival, I'm always greeted by employees who may not remember my name, but will never forget my order. French toast, hash brown, leek sausage for myself, and everything omelet with bacon on the side for my mother. Throughout many occasions, the employees have tried to convince me to try something else. Personally, my favorite part of Vallois isn't the employees or the atmosphere. Instead, it's the unique mural of Chicago's lakefront and Museum of Science and Industry on the wall at the entrance. Vallois is the restaurant that welcomes everyone. On countless occasions, I can remember going to the restaurant to get breakfast and being met by a campaign worker asking me to sign a petition, or seeing people laughing and enjoying each other's company. But through the pandemic, Vallois has continued to be the heartbeat of Hyde Park's neighborhood. Although customers can't sit and socialize in the restaurant like we used to, we're still greeted by those familiar faces behind the counter and the register. Thank you.
That is so beautiful. I'm looking for my reaction. Dakira, that is so lovely. I love that contribution and all of the articles that you've contributed, and so looking forward to your articles in the next issues too. I wish I had like a little fireworks reaction that I could do, but I can't find it. Anyway, fantastic. Thank you so much, Dakira. Well, I found the lineup list, and next in line is the marvelous Kathy Hay. Kathy is a recent graduate from the online format of the communications program. She has written a couple pieces for Communications Quarterly. Most recently, she interviewed the Chicago Tribune's Rick Kogan and did a great feature. They were talking about their love of Chicago. And Kathy, I believe you're reading some of your piece in the first issue, is that right? Your kaleidoscope? Oh, I hope I didn't lose you. You might be muted.
Am I here? Oh,
you
hello.
have some echo there, but that's kind of cool. Ambiance.
God, so bizarre. All right, I'm here. Hello.
Hi, you
Can
are
you see
up.
me?
It is, I can't see you. I see a black screen.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hi. Give me one
Hi.
second. I need to get my my thing up here. Okay.
Kathy,
Can you hear me now?
Are you reading Kaleidoscope, or is that
Yes,
what you're?
I'm reading Kaleidoscope.
Okay, let me pull that up. Feel free to please go ahead and get started, and I will locate it and pull it up. Love this piece.
There I go. Now I can hear me. I think my husband's on here and a few other friends too. So hello everyone and thanks for listening to my debut.
I am here.
Hi, honey. He's across the hall, but here, you know.
I'm so sorry, Kathy. I can't remember which issue it was in. So please
I think
feel
I'm
free
in the
to-
one with the, I think it's the flower. I think it was maybe spring. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, the flower one. I think that's the one I'm on.
Are you there?
I'm almost there. If you're okay with it, if you could begin reading,
Of
that would be
course.
fantastic, and I'll locate it while you read.
Okay. This is Kaleidoscope. My name is Kathy Hay. I am a child of Chicago from the 1970s. It doesn't feel weird to say that out loud anymore, and the okay boomer shade never bothered me. I love this city and have always had a fascination for the bare knuckle reputation we've earned from the beginning. There was a time our world-class destination came from 47th and Peoria, also known as the Union Stockyards. We literally were a cow town, to which Carl Sandburg added hog butcher for the world in his love letter called Chicago. This was a city of skyscrapers, factories, and food production. You could see it everywhere. The Wholesome Bread Factory was across from Campbell's Soup, which was down the expressway from La Preferita, and so many other unnamed tortilla shops. Greasy diners were packed with truckers dropping off hauls at the factories, or the working men huddled around the silver-quilted top truck parked on Kedzie and the bridge. It was lovingly called the Roach Coach. Everything was sealed in cellophane and kept hot in a tray of boiling water. I can still smell the weird tamales and wrinkled shiny hamburger buns that would burn you if you opened the package wrong. It was always working men with grease under their fingers from machine or tool and die factories. Smoke and steam hung in the air from smelted iron and
Alex, we got a delay there. You're frozen.
salts when Reverend George Washington would whip the women into a holy frenzy of shouting and jerky dancing. And yes, his name was George Washington. Preachers and politicians are the same to my eyes and ears at the age of 10. Granny offered sweet potato pies and pound cakes for fellowship after herself. Then she ran a farm in Louisiana, then Chicago. Then there was the smell of hides being tanned and treated for leather. I still like this. Curiously, it never smelled like something used to clean anything. Pickle factory. It was pungent to the point that my eyes watered, and I started. The last now our world-class destination comes from the scrape your skin for $450 a jar. And exquisite leather shoes that have been properly dear, the kaleidoscope of red bricks, shiny black gravel alleys, coach. Backs against the cornflowers, a glittering kaleidoscope for all the my delay.
Thank you, Kathy. You're such a beautiful writer. Thank you so much for sharing. And I also put, so that article, if you, it's really great to read it too, and you can find that in issue 2 on the NLU website under news. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Kathy. And I pulled up this article that Kathy wrote for this most recent issue. You can see here the Rick Hogan interview that I mentioned. Such a great writer, Kathy and Rick. And next we have Janet.
Thank you.
Janet, my dear, where is Janet? Oh, there she is. Hi, Janet. Oh, Janet is a fantastic a poet and a writer and a voice actor and a children's book writer. She's got it all. So she's going to read, which piece are you reading?
The one of this issue.
Okay, great. I know where that is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi guys, my name is Janet. This is my first time sharing my writing with other people. It has been something very intimate, so I'm a little nervous, but here it goes. My poem is called Where Love Never Ends. Whoosh! The wind sighs as it curls my uneven bangs. I can feel his stare on me. Take me to a place where love never ends, he says. I look at him and say, snuggle my hand and I'll guide you through the abyss of uncertainty. Let us waltz around as the dry fucus grass joins in harmony. The noisy leaves applaud us as I admire your glistening eyes. Am I falling? As we turn to bow, a silent swing awaits. Do you feel like a child again? It is my swing of imagination. Can you feel them? The untold stories, longing for a dove of hope to carry them? The tulip tree that hoists your childish dreams shares the delicateness of my chicken heart. Besides them, a stone stands tall as it guards the words that are engraved on it. Shh! Can you hear them? The waves mumble the words, I'm here. The sun rises to capture your presence. It is just you and me. Whisper the words I desperately seek. He says, haven't you realized I'm not what you think? Thank you.
It is so beautiful. Yeah, everyone's sending in chats right now. Just stunning. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you all.
All right. Allison Nelson is a recent graduate of the Human Services program. And congratulations, Allison, for your recent graduation. And she has also written a few pieces for the publication in our summer issue, which is this issue I have right here. Allison, which piece are you reading?
I'll be reading A Race in Flames.
Okay.
I believe it's on page 22.
Thank you. All right, I'll let you take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allison Nelson. As that said, I just graduated from the Human Service Department. This article, A Race in Flames, it kind of just takes my view of all the racial tensions that was happening and that continue to happen in our society. You may or may not agree with my point of view, but I just encourage you all to just take a step into my mind through this article. Give me 1 second. A Race in Flames. Envision this, You are walking down the street and you see someone's house on fire and hear a voice yelling for help. What do? Would your immediate reaction be to figure out why the fire started? I'm sure you would be more concerned about the safety of those that may be endangered inside. Now let us take it a step further. Outside of the house, you see some people throwing gas, increasing the flames, some running to rescue the endangered from the safest point of the house, and others walking by in silence as the fires light up the sky. A popular analogy, which was illustrated by Chris Straub, has recently gone viral on social media. Straub illustrates how unethical it is to use All Lives Matter as a response to the Black Lives Matter movement. Yes, all our houses and lives matter, but when your neighbor's house is on fire, you would not ignore them and use the water hose on all the other houses that are not burning. Racism in America is a crisis, just like when a house is on fire, yet some fail to see it as such because it does not overtly impact them. Let us think back to that first scenario. Although I did not mention anything about the physical identity of those mentioned in the scenario, you likely still created a specific image of it in your mind. That's because on a subconscious level, our minds make associations based on ideas and images that are familiar to us. For example, women are often proposed to experience distress, so you may have pictured a woman yelling for help. Implicit biases, they're intuitive. They're created at a subconscious level, so it can be challenging to address and identify when our behaviors are influenced by them. The way we treat outsiders or people that do not identify similarly to ourselves or our culture is often the result of implicit biases that have developed from our prior experiences or lack of experiences with those outsiders. Historically, negative images and ideas of Black people are perpetuated through American culture, media, conversation, and even education. As a result, implicit biases about race are created, which despite our explicit beliefs, indicate a presence of far more racial biases than many people would like to openly admit. Self-awareness is the best way to combat these implicit biases and progress towards a society that is free of racial stigma. Next time, when you get that uncomfortable feeling while being approached by a person of a different race, think before you act. Try asking yourself this question. If this person looked the same as me, how would I react? You see, race not only colors our world, but it also colors our mind. But we cannot allow race to color our morals and our decision-making. As we witness the Black Lives Matter movement and talk about the racial oppression and injustices faced by Black Americans, I challenge you to see it as the crisis that it is. Picture that house on fire again, but this time with hundreds of Black people inside whose lives are at risk every second they continue to dwell there. I could go into further detail about the condition of the house or the condition of the people inside or even about the early stages of the fire. But when in a crisis, safety should be our priority. Unfortunately, no one has yet called the firefighters. Instead, we have several different types of people show up on the scene. We have those that are throwing gas, increasing the racial tensions, some trying to rescue people from the house through actions of advocacy, and others just watching in silence as the flames increase. We listen to the stories of those who escaped, foolishly draw our own conclusions as to why we think the fire started in the first place, rather than getting the help that is urgently needed. As this fire continues to blaze, lives are threatened. Complete chaos, fear, and endangerment persist. When we continue to add fuel to the fire by supporting the negative yet familiar ideas of other races, or when we stand and watch the flames of racism increase, are we really being an ally to racial justice and equality? This is the issue we face when it comes to the reality of racism in America. You see, we cannot always control the images and ideas that subconsciously stick with us regarding races outside of our own, but we can control the way we decide to treat others. Respect has no color, and change starts with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. That is stunning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Emmanuel or Manny Garcia is I believe a major in business administration. I saw you're here minoring in marketing. Correct me if I'm wrong, Manny, about your major.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Manny is a student, an amazing student in a couple of the marketing classes that I've taught. And he shared with me recently that he is a new father. He has a baby boy, and he has written a beautiful piece in celebration of his son. Manny, if you could hold on just a moment, because I want to make sure that we can see your poem here on the screen. Oh, there it is. It's this on the left. Y'all ready to go?
Hey guys, my name is Emmanuel Garcia. My son right here on the camera, Emiliano. And I wrote this for him, and it goes like, "Dear son, I am glad that I met you, and I hope I never forget you. Because when it's time to say goodbye, I hope our love was never a lie. I will cherish every second because I know you're a blessing. But please do not do me wrong because I will not be that strong. I love you, my son, and I hope I get to meet my grandson. Only then I can share with you the feeling of love I feel towards you. Love, Dad."
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. Oh my goodness, is he cute? Oh,
And he turned 3 months last week.
absolutely adorable. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manny. Well, we have 3 more readers, and then we're going to end with a short slideshow celebrating all of the artists and photographers with their pieces, and then we'll close the night here. So we are moving now to Alyssa, and her last name is in Korean, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name because it's in symbols. Alyssa?
It's Arisa.
Arisa, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll just let you dive right in and I'll pull up your piece.
All right. Hi, my name's Alyssa. So my title of my work is Love, BTS, and Beyond. It started from the moment I was born. My house has always been a multicultural home, so I've always had an open and curious mind to different cultures. I discovered my love for languages early on. I felt that by learning a new language, I was cutting down on my ignorance of the world and other cultures that weren't my own. Even if it was just a basic conversation, if I came across someone that spoke that language, I'd like them to know that someone understands and empathizes with them, even if we come from different backgrounds. I can't remember when I discovered BTS, but it's more likely that they discovered me, and then they comforted me. There's a saying in the Army which stands for Adorable Representative MCs for Youth, which is the BTS fandom. BTS finds you when you need them the most. The impact that they have had on my life can't be described in words, but I will try my best. I truly love BTS and the friends that I have made through them. BTS has a warmth and genuineness that can rarely be found in the world. Phrases like "make sure you don't skip your meals" or "take extra care of your health" are never in short supply. It's a warmth that spreads in my chest, that someone thousands of miles away wishes the best for someone that they haven't even met. One might even call their statements a hug. Even though we don't personally know each other, I would consider them to be my friends and family. In conjunction with their music and their compassion for the world, their positivity, as well as their philanthropy, add to the package that is BTS, from donating $1 million to the Black Lives Matter movement to creating the Love Myself and End Violence campaign, which helps raise money for anti-bullying programs and sexual assault survivors, to everything else that can't possibly be listed, my love for them knows no bounds. Through them, I have made friends from all over the world, and that is because BTS is for everyone, regardless of age, race, sexuality, gender, and ability. And I can't say that I completely love myself, but I've learned to be kinder to myself and treat myself better. Through BTS, I feel like I've become a better person for myself, my friends, and to my family. Creating a positive change in myself, I hope to impact the world for the better. My small love of cultures and languages have snowballed into a beautiful web of making the world a better place, meeting people with open arms, and learning to love myself. So I would just like to say thank you so much, BTS, for the positive impact that you have made on this planet with your music, your compassion, your philanthropy, and your passion. Thank you.
Alyssa, thank you so much. You're such a wonderful writer. And I think did you tell me you were going to move to South Korea?
I'd like to eventually one day, yes.
Cool. We'll stay in touch. And I forgot to mention Alyssa is a recent graduate of the online format of the BA in Communications program. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have two more readers. Next is Antonio Blanco, and he was the intern for the most recent issue. And I was so pleased with his writing ability. Like, I didn't expect that, and bam, like, wow, he's such a great writer. And I'm looking for, he's going to read an excerpt from one of his pieces. Oh, here it is. So Antonio, are you reading the excerpt, Spring? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh, and you are he is a human services major about to graduate.
So this is part of my article, and like that time passed. Spring. This is my personal favorite season. Spring motivates me to perform my best. The flowers and neighborly animals are returning, and for students, spring is their final push before they conclude another hard-working year. The cool temperatures are not warm enough to wear a t-shirt, but not cold enough to wear a hefty jacket. The beginning of the season greets us with a familiar chill. There's a cherry tree I like to walk by that blooms pink petals with a gentle scent. It's so nice to see these petals plucked and pushed by the wind like a Japanese painting. I walk around the rundown part of my neighborhood and see the returning vegetation that has taken over the old houses and nearby railroads. All the vines and weeds make an abandoned area look beautiful. It brings new life to what many people consider ruin.
Thank you so much. Oh, you have so many pieces here. I wish you could read them all. That's wonderful. Yes, thank you. Thank you. He also wrote a great student spotlight on someone who I think is with us here, Jay Reed, future wrestler. And our final piece is by Jordan. And Jordan, as I mentioned, is a screenwriter in addition to like a writer. And Jordan, are you reading Love is in the Air?
Sure. I don't have that pulled up right now.
Oh, did you have another one in mind? Whichever one you would like.
I was going to read a quick perspective on Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely. Why don't you absolutely read
on page
that one?
25.
Wonderful. Great choice. Now let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. All right, and Jordan is about to graduate. He's a major in computer science and information systems.
Right. Okay, so here's a quick perspective on Black Lives Matter. Can we really say all lives matter when there are underserved communities? The phrase underserved communities alone proves that there's an unequal dynamic of some sort that plagues the human species. You must ask yourself how these communities became this way. And if you think deeply about it, you will have many answers. The Black Lives Matter organization formed in 2013 after the acquittal of George Zimmerman. The organization/movement has been vocal ever since, opening our eyes once again to the mistreatment of African Americans in the United States of America. I say, quote unquote, once again, because there has always been mistreatment that stretches far beyond police brutality. The truth is, a person doesn't have to know much about the details of the organization itself, because the name alone holds significant weight. Ask yourself, if the Black Lives Matter organization was never founded, wouldn't Black lives still matter? So you can choose to just identify with the message. When we say Black Lives Matter, it is to combat systemic racism as a whole. So I ask you again, do all lives really matter? They should, but have the actions of this country proven this to be true? The reason that we say, quote unquote, Black specifically is to raise awareness and challenge injustices that the African Americans have always faced and still face in our country. Once the playing field is even, then and only then will all lives truly matter.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Powerful. You have such a range of writing too. Your creativity, I recommend anyone who hasn't taken a look around the issue is that Jordan has some wonderful screenplays, excerpts from those that he's included. Really great.
I did think about reading one of my screenplays, but you know, I don't want to take too much time. So we'll just keep it moving.
We'll have to turn it into like a movie, right? Well, you will for real, actually,
oh, yeah,
but like, yeah, you will for real. So the thank you again
Yeah,
for
that's
everyone.
the
Yeah, no, you're gonna have the real deal out there. I just want to give, before I play the slideshow of all of the artists, you know, who've contributed, I want to give a shout out for some students who have had some big accomplishments in the publication industry over the past year, who are featured in the Communications Quarterly. Jennifer Garcia is on right now, and Jennifer, you're a business major, is that right?
Hello, yes, I am.
Okay, she's a business major with a marketing minor, and I have to say she's a natural vlogger. I don't think she knows it, but she is. And she was Laura Washington, who is a Sun-Times columnist, and she's on ABC, WTTW. Really well respected, nationally known, and she visited our classroom, and Jennifer asked her some very intriguing questions about COVID and essential businesses, and Laura Washington was so inspired by Jennifer's questions that she wrote a column and featured Jennifer in it. I wish I had it pulled up. So she's famous. Congrats on your accomplishments.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just, I remember it was during your class. It was just like, not a random question, but like I wanted to ask it, you know, like why is, you know, this person saying this, but then bringing this up, you know, like why? I need a why. And then, yeah, she contacted me through message, and then she asked me if she could publish what we talked about and everything. And then I was actually working that day, and then I'm like, sure, why not? I was shocked. I'm like, wait, what? You know, it was just something coming out from my heart, asking, and then she really liked it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Oh, I wish I had it pulled up. If you Google Jennifer Garcia and Laura Washington and Sun-Times, you will find it, which is pretty exciting. And there are at least two other accomplishments too that I have right off the bat here is Quanah Hughes, who is a recent graduate of communications who couldn't be here tonight. She had an article published in Streetwise magazine this past year. And also Brandon Hernandez, and this is great. I have one of his photos right here on the left next to Jordan's article. He is a photographer, and he is a junior majoring in communications and a professional photographer. And he was featured in the Chicago Tribune last summer. He was taking photographs of the George Floyd, the protests and marches, and he was recognized in the Tribune. And I apologize if I've met anyone. If I've missed anyone, there's so many accomplishments here. Thank you again I'm gonna play the slideshow. Thank you again to everybody. So many of you writers you're on this call, and I appreciate, we all love your work. It's amazing. And I hope that you'll contribute to next year's issues. This is a slideshow that contains all of the pieces of art and the photographs that students from NLU have contributed to all of the issues. It's set to a Beatles song, and it concludes at the end of the song. So I will play this, and then we will call it a night. Once I find it. There it is. And I apologize, I'm not professional with making videos. It's the best I could do.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's no way you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All together. All you need is love. Everyone. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. 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 Love is all you need.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, all the writers, everyone here. You're amazing. This wouldn't be here without you. Happy New Year.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks. This was great.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you all.
Good luck,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Stay well.
Happy holidays, everybody. Bye.
Bye,
Janet.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Joanne.
Thank you, Beth. You're doing a fabulous job. I'm not
Thank-
surprised, but it's wonderful.
Well, you are my
And
mentor.
bravo to all the students. The students, the pieces were wonderful. I just enjoyed every minute. Thank you.
It's very aligned with your work, Joanne, on Mosaic.
Well, I'm glad it kind of generated some new work and new publications. That's what it's all about. Keep it going. Pay it forward, as they say. Good night, everybody, and happy holidays.
Good night. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So I'll just stay on for a few minutes if anyone wants to chit chat. Otherwise, feel free to sign out and have a good night.
Was this recorded?
If it worked, I hope so. I don't know if I don't see the recording sign anymore.
It says it up here in the left-hand corner for me.
Oh, okay, then yes, it recorded.
Okay, perfect.
I'm so glad. Alyssa, it's so nice to see you.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you again for asking me to write.
Oh my God, of course. Well, I read all, your papers for was it the capstone class, or maybe it's a couple
Yeah.
classes. And you said you
I
have
think I had you for 3 classes, I believe.
Oh, you poor thing.
No.
And you mentioned that you have some ideas for future issues, right?
Yes. I'm still thinking about those, but media is the overarching theme, correct? Overarching theme.
It is,
Okay.
but it's flexible too. So if there's something it doesn't need to fit in there. Just
All right.
Maybe I'll stop the recording now if I know how to do that. Sure.